In this video we're going to look at the main hardware features of the Infinity controller. As you can see from the photograph, we have an Infinity controller with the cover removed and the main PCB visible. In the top left hand corner of the PCB we have the power supply input. There's the 15 volt input from the transformer, the two power supply fuses and the first regulator. Along the bottom of the board are the main connector terminals for connections to relays, antennas, LEDs, networking, communications, etc. At the very bottom left of the board are the two relay outputs, which are voltage free, normally open, normally closed, changeover relays, and a fused 12 volt output. The fused 12 volt output is useful for driving sounders and buzzers. This is fused with the fuse you can see in the picture. To the right of this is the LAN connection for connection to an Ethernet base 10 network. To the right of the network connector is the connector for the loudspeaker. This should only ever be connected to a loudspeaker. It cannot drive a sounder or any voltage dependent device. It can only be connected to an 8 or a 16 ohm impedance loudspeaker. Moving along from the speaker driver, we have the connections for the Infinity network. This network can be used to drive Infinity network compatible peripherals such as RGB slave boards and people counters. The next three sets of connections are for the LED output drivers. These are the drivers that will drive the LEDs in the top of the pedestals or in the door guards or loop system antennas. We then move on to the three antenna connections. Antenna 1, 2 and 3, clearly marked ABCDE, ABCDE, ABCDE. These connect to the slave boards in the antennas. Above the antenna connections are the jumpers that select the routing for the incoming signal. If the jumpers are positioned on the left hand side of the contacts, the incoming signals are coming in from the antennas. If the jumpers are fitted to the right hand side, the inputs are coming in from the auxiliary input terminals. At the bottom right of the circuit board you can see the auxiliary inputs which we use for specialist antennas such as door guard antennas and in some cases floor guard antennas. Towards the top left center of the circuit board you have the master reset switch. This can be used to reset the master board. Finally, at the top of the circuit board we have a pair of jumpers. If these jumpers are shorted before the power is applied to the board will reset itself to its default state. This includes all the default settings on the network, sensitivity, DSP, everything. That concludes our discussion on the Infinity controller board and the hardware aspects of that board. I hope you found it useful. Please watch some of our other videos outlining the software, network connections, IP addressing and other issues. Thank you.